Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Charlotte. If you're new here, please stick around. It is lots of fun on here. This is my October wrap up. I only read 7 books. I cannot believe it. I started, well, technically 8, but not technically at the same time. Sorry, I'm so sick. I've been sick for 3 weeks. I've had enough. I've had so much. I've had a gut full of it. Seriously. I really wanted to finish Daisy Hates today, but it knocks it out of me when I'm trying to read and I'm not feeling well. So unfortunately it is what it is, but I'm still proud of my efforts considering I was sick for 3 whole weeks. So one whole week of this month I was fine. And I still somehow read this amount. You know what I mean? So in total, I read 2,611 pages. It's roughly because the first book that I'm about to mention, I actually DNF'd it, but I read just over halfway of the book and I was like, this is one of the first books that I've ever DNF'd in my life as well. And I'm upset about it too because the author, there's no issue with the author. I just genuinely could not connect with the book. So without further ado, let's get straight into the video. So the first book that I actually read, it was on Audible, so I actually listened to it. It is displayed on my screen just here. It is The Power by Naomi Alderman, or Alderman, I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm not sure. Sorry if I have mispronounced it. Naomi has written some Doctor Who books. I'm not sure if Naomi is the sole author of the Doctor Who books. I absolutely love Doctor Who, and I only just found out after I DNF'd the book that she's involved with Doctor Who, and I was like, no. I was like, okay, well, I don't think of her in a bad way at all. So pretty much I gave the book a 2 stars just because I could not connect to it, but there were some moments where I was like, okay, I appreciate this, you know what I mean? I was really excited about my fan cast. The 2 main girls I really pictured in my head the whole time. I forgot the characters' names, I'm sorry. It feels like ages ago. The main girl was Emma Malley, who plays Maeve in Sex Education, the TV show. Come here, Frankie. Pretty much the reason for why I DNF'd it was just because there were some triggering things that were going on a lot at the time in the book. I really was excited because I've been craving Stranger Things lately. Like, sorry, Frankie doesn't want me to hold her, but I just love her. What was I saying? Oh yeah, I've been craving Stranger Things lately, and apparently like The Power was really similar, and I understand there are aspects of it that are quite similar, but there were certain moments of the book where I was like, oh, I can't get through this. Just like trigger warning, kind of like assault vibes, if that makes sense, you know? So yeah, I really didn't enjoy it. So, but no hate to the author because I think Naomi, hello? Oh my goodness. No hate to the author, but I just personally couldn't connect with it. Okay, moving swiftly. Excuse me. Moving swiftly on, we're moving on to something very exciting. There's a lot of excitement in the rest of this whole video because I have read back-to-back fantastic books. It is blown my mind, and I've always said to everyone, like whenever they ask me, what's your favorite book? I've always said it is New Moon by Stephanie Meyer, the author that created Twilight, the Twilight series. I am obsessed with that series like there's no tomorrow. It's genuinely so dear to my heart, and it will always be one of my favorite books ever. But Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros completely like jumped up there. Now this is a massive book. I'm talking 528 pages. I read this and I annotated every single page. I got so into it. Firstly, let's have a little look at this. This is Basgith War College's map, all right? She's given us one map at the front, right? No, this is the whole world map. Blows my mind. I purchased this not that long ago. I had no idea like that this book was ever on BookTok or anything, or booktube. Like, I never ever ever heard of it until there was like one moment where Sarah Crowley posted a YouTube vlog of her reading it, and I saw the excitement in her when she was like filming her reactions to things, and I was like, oh my goodness. Like, and I was in such a fantasy mood too, because I was jumping off my Stranger Things kind of craving, and I'm definitely, like, because it's Halloween today, I'm definitely going to be watching Stranger Things tonight, like rewatching all of it. I'm obsessed with Stranger Things. I used to have like all the t-shirts and everything, but they're way too small on me now. I cannot. So anyway, where was I going with this? Yeah, Sarah Crowley posted a vlog of her reading this, and it inspired me, and I was like, oh, okay, I've never heard of this, and I was like, it sounds pretty good. Everyone at Basgiath has an agenda, so sleep with one eye open, because once you enter, there are only two ways out: graduate or die. And it's about dragons. I highlighted so anything you see in purple in my book, it was pretty much every kind of conversation or all of like the thoughts that were going on between the two of them, like the two main characters. I was obsessed with their romance, and like there was a couple of spicy scenes, but they were just the right amount. Like, they were just perfect. And I cannot wait to see this. Like, I don't know if it's completely true or not, but I cannot wait to see this be a film be a film adaptation. It has to be amazing. The budget needs to be incredible. Like, I pictured everything like this was a movie while I was reading it. So this is my favorite book now in the whole wide world. I gave it a 5 stars. It's 6-star worthy. It is incrediana. It is so good, guys. I am going to recommend this to the day I die. Literally till the day I die. It may be big, but don't let that scare you, okay? Like, I just cannot get over this. I cannot get over it. So pretty much, Violet Sorrengail, from what I can remember, Violet Sorrengail, she has always been brought up to be a scribe, because her dad, is it a scribe? Yeah. Because her dad was also, I believe, a scribe. Her mother was part of the Riders Quadrant, so that's the people that are in, that they are solely to study how to train their dragons, you know, get their dragons, survive in the dragon, like, Flyers Quadrant, etc. She's a commander, her mother, and at the start of this book, you see her mum forcing her to sign up. Like, forcing her to, like, it's the first day. Kind of like, think of this as, like, the first day they're going to, like, it's the first day of high school. Like, it's your first day, you got to go in. But obviously, it's giving, like, a little bit of Divergent. You know the movie Divergent? Like, at the start of it, when Triss is becoming her best version of herself, and she's discovering, like, her Dauntless abilities, etc. Like, when she's at Dauntless and she has to, like, do all the trials and everything. And pretty much, like, if you're getting scored like low below the line, you're cut pretty much. And there's a lot of death in this book, not too much, thankfully. Like, it's not crazy, you know what I mean? But that's a major theme in the book. So you have to survive or you die. Like, you graduate or you die pretty much. And she meets this guy straight away, Xaden. I think that's how you say his name. Honestly, I hope it is, because that's how I've been saying it this whole month. Xaden Riorson, he is a couple of years older than Violet, and he already, from the moment he even hears her name, is like, I want to kill this girl, because they have beef, even though she didn't know that they had beef. But pretty much, Violet's mum, I can't say too much, but Violet's mum is the commander, and Xaden's father suffered the consequences of something, and Xaden is now paying for it. And later on in the book, you will see why he is the way he is. He has done so much for his people. Like, you will, at the start, you'll be like, oh God, shut up. Like, shut up, Xaden. But at the same time, you're like, shut up, you're so hot at the same time. But later on, you're like, oh my God, I love this guy so much. Like, I cannot. Like, I was pining over him. I was salivating. I'm salivating right now just even thinking about this. it's taken me a lot to just think about how I'm going to be talking about this today. Like, this book just needs to be framed for me. It's the best thing. I don't think anything else that I read this year is going to beat this. There was a close second, which is coming up, but this was just incredible. So pretty much, they're going through lots of stages in their trials. Violet, she's a small little skinny legend, and she is building her strength. She's trying to survive. She befriends a lovely lady, Rhiannon. We get to see lots of fighting, lots of the conflict, and there's a bit of world building. Not too much though, thankfully. Like, it was only about 15% into the book, and then I was like, oh, slate. All right, we're in now. We like fully understand what's going on. It's just a journey. It is just a journey. Each chapter it's a decent size. Like, I'm talking, how many pages were there in like each chapter? We got one. There's roughly 11 pages. Sometimes there's even more in each chapter. There's a lot of tension in this, like a lot of tension. So if you want some sort of thrill-seeking, adventurous, dangerous, school vibe, like college vibe at the same time, with a bit of tension and fantasy, this is your kind of book. This is just perfect. I want to reread this like every day. Like, I still pick it up every day and I like look at some of the pages that I've highlighted. I'm like, ee, and I just like scream like a little girl. Like, I'm the biggest fangirl. This is just, I'd pay like $1 million. I'd pay my whole life's, I would pay my entire life's earnings to see this as a film adaptation. And I'm so glad I read it before it ever became one. I was like, ah. So anyway, thank you, Sarah Crowley, for recommending this book. Once I walked past it at Kmart, of all places, Kmart. I got this for like $12. The best $12 I've spent in my whole entire life. It was perfect. Okay. Moving on. The next book I read, I don't have a physical copy of it because I actually listened to it on Audible. It was, I can't believe it. Like, I'm so annoyed that I didn't actually buy it. Like, so I will be buying it and I will be rereading it sometime soon. So it is The Dead Romantics by Ashley Poston, just here on my screen. I firstly love the cover. I'm a big judge of cover kind of girly. I'm a judge of covers like there's no tomorrow. I'm the biggest bitch when it comes to books, but this cover is so cute. Like, I love the little crows, like the little ravens, and I love like the flowers, and it's very similar, I think, like to her other book. Like, it's got a bit of like earthy vibes, but also the birds still. So I haven't gotten to this book yet. I'm so bad. I need to. But it was so good. So pretty much from what I can remember, Florence is the main girl, and Ben, oh my god, please tell me I'm correct. Please tell me I'm correct. I will say something in the caption here. Florence. So this is a romance novel. I actually ended up giving it 4 stars. I really wanted to give it 5 stars, but I also just wanted to be completely raw and honest. I don't know, like, it wasn't something that I was like highly 1,000 times a billion obsessed. Like, I wasn't like, oh my gosh, but I read it in a whole day. I loved it so much at the same time, and I will recommend it to everyone. So pretty much, Florence is a ghostwriter, and her father have always been able to see ghosts. Ghosts come to her when she needs help, but mostly when she's in her hometown. Pretty much, she goes back to work this one day, and all of a sudden this new editor is sitting there, and they instantly connect, which is really lovely. And all of a sudden, one day, she's having a really bad day. She's having a really shit day. She bumps into him in an alleyway, and it's really, really cute stuff. Like, I can't say more. I don't want to spoil anything. But so she can speak to ghosts. I actually feel like if I say anything else along those lines, it could spoil something. But she has a developing relationship with this beautiful guy. He's trying to work out his purpose, etc., in the situation and the theme of things. and she's helping him along the way. They just instantly form such a beautiful bond, and they're there for each other, and I think it's a cute little novel. It's got the natural magical realism that I like. It's giving like Ghost Whisperer vibes. Like that TV show was amazing, by the way. I never finished it, but it's on Disney Plus, I'm pretty sure, so I will get to it eventually one day. But yeah, these books are really inspiring. I found they were fast and quick paced, and it was easy to digest. It's giving literary fiction. It definitely was literary fiction vibes in my eyes. And I'm not a literary fiction girly, but I'm starting to become one. I really am. I really like it. So yeah. And then there's a lovely ending to the book. So I don't think I can say anything else. I'm sorry. It just will completely spoil it. I just can't like get around spoiling it. You know what I mean? Holy dooly. This migraine I've had since last Sunday. Okay, and that book was 368 pages. The next book I read, this one was, I am absolutely gobsmacked at this book. This is Powerless by Lauren Roberts. It is gotta be one of the highlights of my year, reading this book. Okay, I want you to picture when you were younger, reading and watching The Hunger Games for the first time. How did you feel? Because I remember when I was 13, 14, 15, around that time, and when I discovered Hunger Games, I was blown away. That was like my Roman Empire of the year. It is one of my Roman empires, like just thinking about my reactions to it all. And I would always think like, oh my God, I'm never going to get back that feeling of, you know, watching this and reading this for the first time. You have to admit, like The Hunger Games, one of the best stories that there is, right? Lauren Roberts plucked some inspiration from those movies and books and definitely kept her own theme to things. This is more of a fantasy novel, but it is giving a bit of The Hunger Games. And thankfully, there is a second book. Now, I remember my Goodreads review. I started like tearing up. I was genuinely so upset because I just thought to myself, I was like, why did I read this so soon now? Like, why do I have to wait until March next year for the fucking sequel? Like, I'm so upset because, like, I can't even say what I'm about to say. It will spoil it. So pretty much, like, you're going to fall in love so hard with this book. So hard! Up until, like, the last 3 chapters. No, like, even the last 2. You're going to be like, oh my God! You're going to be sitting there like choking on your tears, wanting to just know what happens next. And thankfully in this book, there is the first chapter of her second book. I've already forgotten what it's called. I'm sorry, I'll put it on the screen. The second book that she's got. So at the back of the book, it says, turn the page for a sneak peek of the second book in the epic and sizzling Powerless trilogy by Lauren Roberts. And I read it, and I remember the second that I finished reading that extra little chapter of the new book that's coming out in May, I threw the book. I threw it angrily. I was so angry. I was like, I want this now. And now I know what it feels like when people like stay in the loop and they read things like on time and everything, because I've never been an on-time reader. Like, I'll just read in my own time. Like, I'll buy, say, I know Beach Read came out quite a while ago, still haven't fucking read it. You know what I mean? But I will be reading that on the plane, so I'm really excited. I'm going to Cairns. Cairns is the top of Australia. It's like very tropical, very hot. So I'll be reading it on the plane because it's tropical, and the book is called Beach Read, doll. This book is pretty much you want to think too, it's got a bit of Divergent vibes as well. So like, you know how in Divergent, if you are Divergent, they'll just kill you. That's like by their law, you can't be Divergent. There's this thing called ordinaries in this book. So if you are an ordinary, you are not trusted, you are banished. Most of the time you're killed. Peyton. She is an ordinary. From this book, well, you never know. You never know, though, in the second book. There could be a twist, love. There could be a twist. But in this book, her whole story, her whole upbringing, she has been an ordinary, posing as a quote-unquote psychic. And she's had to learn from the get-go from her father how to be a psychic. He trained her. Very tragic situation that she's in this book. She is a very, very good thief, struggling. She is living in the ruins. She's living in a tent with her best friend. And all of a sudden, she bumps into a silencer. A silencer is a form of an elite. So everyone has to be an elite in this kingdom of Ilya. If you aren't a form of an elite or a healer, then you're not considered worthy of living. Pretty much, it's quite scary. It's quite sad. So obviously we're reading her fears, her thoughts, everything that she does. And she's actually really good at being a psychic as well, because she's learned how to like pick up on things straight away. If someone tries to test her, she goes, okay, well, I can see in the cracks of your fingernails a certain material or something. You've been touching this. And then she thinks, and she's like, okay, well, where would you have been? That's the only place here in this town of this. And then she calls them out and they're like, how did you know? And it's like so incredible. You know what I mean? Like, she's really cool. So pretty much when I'm talking about like the Hunger Games vibes, there's trials. So the trials is like the games, pretty much. There's multiple in this book. There's multiple. So in the first story of the Hunger Games, you've got just the one. In the second one, there's another one, and it's just a little crazy. But in this one, there's, from my memory, I think there's like 5. And she survived all of them with the help of a beautiful connection that's starting to blossom with Mr. Kai. And you know what I appreciated from this book as well? The dual point of view. You get his point of view, you get her point of view. It is incredible. I was picturing Ian Somerhalder as Damon Salvatore as Kai. I was picturing Julianne Hough as Payton, but with like bright silvery, like platinum blonde hair. Okay. I know that's like a weird combination, like you would never put them together, but I just genuinely in my mind had to picture them, and it worked so well. And then I was picturing Paul Wesley as Stefan Salvatore as the other brother. So I can't say anymore. This was a 5 stars. It's a 6 star. It really is. I loved it, and I didn't even feel like, obviously I was like, oh my god, everyone's like praising this book, and I was like, I don't know if I should feel obligated to give this a 5 stars. I got into it so hard after 6 chapters. I was like, okay, girl. I was like, this is my girl dinner. Like, I loved it. I just ate it up. So yeah, it was really good. If you are looking for a cute fantasy that's going to tug on your heartstrings and hopefully one day adapt into a movie or a TV series, read this. Powerless by Lauren Roberts. Fantastico. And there was 495 pages in this book. It was crazy. It was so crazy. Okay, the next book I read was Red Rising by Pierce Brown. I actually didn't even give this a rating because I was so unsure, because majority of the time reading it, I actually really liked it. I really, really liked it. And because now I'm in this situation where I've had a couple of weeks to, reflect, I guess, and I have now come to a decision. So I am going to be giving it a 4 stars. There were moments where they were in my head. It felt graphic. Like there were some moments where I was like, oh, this is a little crazy. Like the violence and the themes of things. There was a lot of death in this book. It was crazy. I don't know if I can see myself reading the rest of the series. I know everyone's like starting to read the whole series now, and I'm thinking, do I, don't I don't know, because I am a sci-fi girly, not like entirely, but at heart I always have been. I love Star Wars, and I'm very inspired by it. And the main guy, Darrow, you want to picture the main guy in Narnia, the blonde guy. I can't think of his name. I'm sorry. He's the oldest brother. I still really loved it. Though I don't know why at the time I didn't rate it. I was just really unsure at the time. That's pretty much like my only reasoning for why I didn't rate it. But Red Rising had 382 pages. I did devour it. It took a long time for me to get through it though, I'm not gonna lie. I listened to it on Audible, that's why. And there was a time where I had deleted Sims off my computer because I didn't have any storage to like actually edit any of my YouTube videos. And I was so soul crushed because most of the time when I'd play Sims, I would listen to all of my audiobooks. Now, the only time I have time to listen to my audiobooks is when I'm driving and when I'm exercising. So, and it's just crazy because sometimes I'm working for hours and hours and hours on end, no time to drive. So yeah, but still really enjoyed it. I would recommend reading it if you are interested in the book and like, if you've heard bits and pieces about it, I would suggest it. It's quite lovely. I loved too how like there was a bit of singing in it. Like there was like lots of songs that they weren't allowed to sing, but they still sang it. And I'm pretty sure, and I'm pretty sure from memory, the last part of the book in the first book was a song. It was like creepy. So yeah, that's another thing too. It was kind of creepy, the book, you know what I mean? Okay, the next book I read was The Woman in Me by Britney Spears. This one was 288 pages. I listened to this also on Audible, so it is displayed right here. I read this in a whole sitting. I was just so invested. I was like, oh wow. It was incredibly difficult to listen to because I've always loved Britney Spears so much because I'm a dancer. I'm a performer, and so is she. She's a singer, she's a performer, she's a dancer. And obviously this is a memoir, so technically it would be unkind of me to rate this any lower than a 5 because this is her own story. So it was either going to be no rating or a 5-star, you know what I mean? I actually ended up giving it a 5-star because it was like the pace of it was incredible. It was all explained thoroughly to the point where we understood it all. You know, it was thorough, easy to understand, you know, with like all of the shit that she had to endure with her parent, her dad, and her ex-husbands, as well as Justin Timberlake. And I'm not going to spoil anything. You're welcome to read / listen to it on Audible. I'm a Justin Timberlake girly. Like, I dance to his music every day. I have always danced to his music. I've always known that they were together at some point of their lives. I never ever wanted to like get into the understanding of their relationship, but now hearing from her point of view, it's rocked me. It's rocked me and it's shocked me to the core of the situation. She didn't really have like anything awful to say about him other than obviously like what happened to like their ending of their relationship, and obviously like he did terrible things, you know, everyone does terrible things, but now I'm just kind of like, oh, it's ruined it for me now because I really liked Justin Timberlake. Anyway, I'm not gonna have any more opinions on the book because this is her own real story, and I haven't heard Justin's side of things. I haven't actually looked into anything from Justin's side of things either, so I'm not going to say anything else. I hope that I haven't offended anyone or anything in her story. But yeah, I still really enjoyed reading the book. I read it in a whole setting. I listened to it in a whole setting, and I found it was a whirlwind. I was like, my jaw was just open the whole time. I was like, really? Gosh. You know, it's just crazy. Okay, and then finally, the next book that I read, I actually ended up finishing it just this morning. It is Wildfire by Hannah Grace. This book is exactly 400 pages. I gave this a 5 stars. At first, I really wasn't going to give it a 5 stars. I thought it was going to be maybe like a 4, 4.5, 4.75. But no, she's a 5. She is a 5. And I really had to think too. I was like, is this book better than Icebreaker? Is it? Now, Icebreaker is a tiny little bit bigger, I think. Wait, is it? yeah, just a little bit bigger. And I remember Icebreaker from the get-go. I mean, it is dick. It's full of dick, okay? But it was so enjoyable at the same time. Okay, I'm gonna have, there's like one almost slightly negative opinion about this book though, was just there were so many like scenes in this book and chapters where it was just like a random conversation or like, and I was just like, do we really need that? You know what I mean? But the thing about this book that really like ticked all my boxes was the theme. The theme of this book being in the summer, in the holidays, meeting, and they share their trauma bond of their struggles that they deal with their parents, and it really is incredible. It really, so they're camp counselors. The whole setting is so cute. I feel like there could have been a tiny little bit more, like with maybe more scenes with the kids, or like I wanted more scenes of them doing like the actual activities with the kids, but it was still good to see their own like part of just like them being counselors. I did enjoy that. It was thorough. This was just perfect. So pretty much Russ Callahan is the hockey goalie in the same team as Nate at Maple Springs in the university that they all go to in this whole series. Okay, and one day they are having a party and all of a sudden Miss Aurora Roberts enters the party and they're all playing drunk Jenga. They are participating together. They instantly connect and it's lots of fun. It ends in a one-night stand. Now, this is where so this is a theme, miscommunication, okay? I wouldn't say that's like a majority of the love trope of this at all, but pretty much they really, really liked the situation that they were in. And she thought initially he was just, you know, waiting for her to leave. But little did everyone know, he was in the bathroom pep talking himself up because he wanted to ask her on a date. And she was so upset. She was like, oh, well, he could have just asked me to leave. So she ends up leaving and then he comes back in and he's so upset as well. He's like, oh, she left. Like, what the hell? Was I not good at, like, no, doll, you were good. You were fucking good. And pretty much like the next day, they're working at the same place. So it's like fate and destiny. They're working at the same place for over 2 months in a summer camp. Like, they're going to be working together and they instantly like, oh, it's a little bit awkward, but eventually they're going to break through that awkwardness. And it is so cute. It is so cute. They both have really good friends and they're all just having a great connection. And one rule is no fraternization with any of the counselors, like any of the staff you can't fraternize. And they have to work their way around that rule pretty much. Lots is happening with both their parents. And then at the end, there's a little like future part and it's so cute. It is so, so cute. I was waiting for that because I loved the future part in Icebreaker as well. Like the little like something years later, but you know what I mean? So it was really cute. I highly recommend this book. Oh my God. Do not just think this is not a kid's book. The cartoon, okay? Don't worry about it, sweetheart. They fuck. They have lots and lots of intimacy. It's really, really good. I just loved it. This was delectable, you know what I mean? And I was picturing Ross Lynch as Russ, and I was picturing Madeline Klein as Aurora, and it was just incredible. Okay? So good. And then to finish off this video, I haven't finished Daisy Hates, but I'm almost halfway. Really liking it so far. I'm not in love with it yet. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not in love with it, but I do like it more than Magnolia Parks because Magnolia Parks was so toxic. But there were moments of Magnolia Parks where I was like, oh, I love this because it was like the fashion, the themes, the way she is, the way he is, you know what I mean? And then the toxicity with everyone in the book and why she acts the way she does around every other guy, you know what I mean? But I've had a little glimpse of Magnolia. So this, apparently Daisy hates, is like dual at the same time as Magnolia Parks, which is cool. So I'm enjoying that. And I love the cover. The cover is so motivating. It's so random, but it's giving like almost Romeo and Juliet vibes, if that makes sense. I don't know. It just gives it like the Baz Luhrmann movie. Anyway, I'm really enjoying this. Unfortunately, I didn't finish it, so I didn't actually hit my goal. I always like to hit a goal of 9 books plus for the month, but I only ended up reading 7. So damn it. But that's okay. Technically, I actually only read 6 because I didn't fully finish reading The Power, but I DNF'd it. So, and I read completely over halfway, so technically I still read it. You know what I mean? Anyway, this will definitely be on next month reading wrap up. So I want you to stay tuned for that next video. Just gonna hold up all the physical books that I have for this month. Not a lot, but really cute, really exciting. And I hope you enjoyed my video. I really enjoyed this video. I could not wait. Like, honestly, the second that I finished both those fantasy books, I was like, I can't wait to talk about my thoughts for this. Like at the end of the month, in my monthly wrap up, it's gonna be so good. Okay, I'm so starving. I can't wait to have my enchiladas and my Oreos. I'm so excited. Thank you so much for watching my video today. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like because it really supports my channel. Stick around for more. You can totally click that subscribe button down below. I can't wait to see you on my next video. It should be a vlog, hopefully. I'm so excited. I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!